These are the new digital border control and entry laws that Jamaica just imposed on every British and American traveler landing on the island. And what makes this extraordinary is not the technology itself, but the fact that a Caribbean nation of fewer than 3 million people now runs the same biometric surveillance architecture that London and Washington spent decades building. Except Jamaica pointed it directly at their citizens. British passport holders landing in Montego Bay now submit advanced digital declarations to Jamaican intelligence systems before they board the aircraft. American tourists stepping off flights in Kingston now look into facial recognition cameras powered by the same company that services Heathrow and JFK. And neither Britain nor America saw this coming, because the country they treated as a sun-soaked vacation destination quietly assembled one of the most advanced digital border ecosystems in the Western Hemisphere, and then turned it on. What nobody is talking about is the friction this creates. Jamaica's digital border mandate does not simply modernize an airport terminal. It redefines the sovereignty of British and American travelers the moment they decide to visit, because for the first time, a former colonial territory holds advanced biometric and personal data on millions of Western citizens, processed through its own systems, stored under its own laws, and governed by its own security agencies. That is a geopolitical shift disguised as an airport upgrade, and it challenges every traditional assumption about how power flows in Caribbean international travel. Stay locked in through this entire breakdown, because what we reveal at the end will fundamentally change how you understand Jamaica's position in the world. For decades, flying into Jamaica followed a ritual that every British and American tourist knew by heart. Somewhere over the Caribbean, a flight attendant would distribute crumpled paper forms, and passengers would scramble for pens, squint at tiny boxes, and scribble passport numbers while the plane bounced through turbulence. That form carried the name C5, the passenger declaration, and it collected everything from personal identification to how many bottles of rum a visitor intended to bring through customs. Jamaica's paper C5 had earned a reputation that matched the era it belonged to, which meant slow, easy to misplace, and nearly illegible by the time you reached the immigration desk. September 2023 eliminated that system permanently. Jamaica migrated the entire C5 process onto a mandatory digital platform hosted at the official government portal Enter Jamaica, Gov.jm, and from that date forward, every passenger arriving by air had to complete the declaration online before departure. No paper forms distributed on the aircraft, no last-minute scrambling at the gate, no crumpled sheets stuffed into seat pockets. Travelers now submit personal details, travel itineraries, and customs declarations through the portal, receive a QR code upon approval, and present that code to border authorities on arrival. Completion takes under 10 minutes, and the entire process carries zero cost, with no application fee, no processing fee, and no hidden charges. But here is where the implications shift from administrative to strategic. Every single traveler, from infants to elderly passengers to business executives transiting through Montego Bay, must submit an individual form for every single entry. Repeat visitors complete it again each time they return. Paper copies only resurface during rare system outages that almost never occur. What Jamaica achieved in practice is advanced digital intelligence on every person entering the country by air before that person steps onto the aircraft. That means a British banker flying from Gatwick and an American family departing JFK both transmit their personal data to Jamaican border systems hours before landing. Jamaica now knows who is coming when they are coming, and what they are carrying before a single wheel touches the tarmac. That is not a paperwork convenience. That is a fundamentally different relationship between a Caribbean nation and the Western travelers who visit it. And this is where the technology on the ground starts matching the data in the cloud. December 2023 marked a turning point that most travelers outside Jamaica never registered. When 6 automated biometric passport control gates were installed and tested at Sangster International Airport in Montego Bay, the facility that processes over 70% of all visitors arriving on the island. These e-gates authenticate passenger identity through facial recognition technology, eliminating the need for immigration officers at the front line, removing manual passport stamps from the process, and replacing the long queues that once defined Caribbean airport arrivals with a system that confirms or denies entry in seconds. A traveler walks up, scans their document, looks into the camera, and the algorithm decides. What most people never learn is who supplied the technology. SEDA, one of the largest providers of airport and border infrastructure on the planet, built the biometric systems at Sangster. That same company services terminals across Europe and North America, which means Jamaica deployed the identical grade of equipment that travelers encounter at Heathrow, at Charles de Gaulle.
My father forced me to get an abortion. Into the room.
Heathrow, at Charles de Gaulle, and at every major Schengen entry point. Sangster's e-gates are not a Caribbean experiment. They represent globally certified border technology, and they are now scanning the faces of British and American citizens on Jamaican soil. Additional gates arrived at Sangster by December 2024, timed for the holiday rush, while Norman Manley International Airport in Kingston received 4 e-gates alongside 20 self-service kiosks in the same period. May 2025 brought the full reveal when MBJ Airports Limited, the private consortium operating Sangster under a 30-year concession, unveiled a comprehensive biometric upgrade covering both arrivals and departures. Shane Munro, the CEO of MBJ, described the vision in language that would fit a press release from Changi or Incheon, not a Caribbean island. His stated goal integrates arrivals and departures through a single biometric identity, enabling passengers to move seamlessly through the airport without needing to verify their information more than once. One face scan from check-in to boarding gate, tracked through a unified system. That is world-class infrastructure, and Jamaica constructed it while the rest of the world was still debating whether Caribbean airports could handle automated kiosks. Beyond the gates, Sangster deployed self-service biometric check-in kiosks, interactive wayfinding with QR code functionality, environmental sensors that optimize terminal conditions automatically, and advanced queue management systems driven by Bluetooth and Wi-Fi tracking. A capital program valued at $112 million powered these upgrades between 2020 and 2025. Sangster set a record of over 5.2 million passengers in 2023, employs more than 7,500 people, and connects Jamaica to over 60 international destinations. The airport approaches 5 million passengers annually, and the majority of those passengers hold British, American, or Canadian passports, which raises a question that neither London nor Washington has publicly addressed. When a British citizen's facial biometrics are captured and processed by Jamaican government systems at Sangster, that data enters an infrastructure governed by Jamaican law, managed by Jamaican security agencies, and stored within a Jamaican digital ecosystem. The same applies to every American tourist who looks into those cameras. For generations, the surveillance relationship between the Caribbean and the West flowed in one direction. Western embassies collected biometric data from Caribbean visa applicants. Western border agencies fingerprinted Caribbean travelers on arrival. Western intelligence systems tracked Caribbean nationals crossing their borders. Jamaica just reversed that flow, and it did so using the exact same technology. None of that means the rollout proceeded without friction. A letter published in the Jamaica Gleaner described congestion and delays at Sangster's e-gates during peak windows, noting that facial recognition caused bottlenecks. Frequent errors slowed processing, and assistance fell short for passengers traveling with young children. That criticism landed publicly and carried weight. But the trajectory moved in one direction only, because a returning Jamaican traveler praised the system as a good change, while a passenger from New York called the renovations amazing and the process smooth. Growing pains were real, but the architecture was locked in and accelerating. Now, if this breakdown is giving you a perspective on Jamaica that you have never encountered before, take a moment to subscribe to the channel. We are pushing toward 50,000 subscribers, and every single one brings us closer. Drop a comment below telling us whether Jamaica's border technology caught you off guard, because we read every response, and your engagement is exactly what drives content like this. Beneath the visible upgrades at the airports, Jamaica started constructing something far more consequential, a unified digital backbone called the Integrated Border Management Ecosystem. And the context behind it makes the scale hit harder. Jamaica's last countrywide border security overhaul took place in 2004, which meant that for over 2 decades, the systems collecting, processing, and analyzing data on every person crossing Jamaican borders operated on legacy infrastructure held together by patchwork solutions. In 2024, PICA posted a formal international tender to replace the entire system from the ground up. The scope covered everything: all processes, procedures, and technologies that border security agencies need to manage cross-border activities fell under a single ecosystem, designed to facilitate efficient movement while ensuring national safety. Andrew Winter, the former CEO of PICA who spearheaded the modernization before stepping down, framed the urgency without ambiguity. "We currently have a border management system which has been around for a while," he explained. "And one of the things we have recognized is that there is a lot of other technology now being brought on board to improve persons crossing borders." But Winter also confronted the threat dimension directly, warning that the criminals are also using technology and that PICA needed systems capable of matching what those actors deploy. What transforms this from an agency upgrade into a geopolitical statement is the multi-location, multi-agency architecture. Jamaica's ecosystem connects Sangster International Airport, Norman Manley International Airport, and the Montego Bay Cruise Port at Freeport into a unified digital framework. While linking PICA with the Jamaica Customs Agency, the Jamaica Defense Force, and the Jamaica Constabulary Force through centralized data sharing. Winter stated outright that providing this technology will save the country millions of dollars and reduce human error or corruption. That means Jamaica now operates a border intelligence network where data on every arriving British tourist, every American cruise passenger, and every Canadian business traveler feeds into a centralized system accessible to multiple Jamaican security agencies simultaneously. Garth Williams, the current CEO of PICA, inherited that momentum and pushed the agency's stated ambition from best-in-class to truly world-class. March 2026 brought a formal memorandum of understanding with the Management Institute for National Development to build customized training pathways for PICA staff. State Minister Juliet Cuthbert Flynn reinforced the stakes, declaring that the agency protects the integrity of Jamaica's borders while facilitating legitimate travel, trade, and mobility, and that these responsibilities demand a highly skilled, professional, and adaptable workforce. PICA now targets processing passengers at ports in no more than 2 minutes and turning around passport applications submitted to Kingston within 7 days. Those benchmarks are not aspirational. They function as the operational metrics an executive agency is measured against in real time. Jamaica's border infrastructure protects the perimeter, but passports and national identification cards function as the keys. And Jamaica upgraded both simultaneously in ways that redrew global assumptions about Caribbean digital identity. Jamaican passports evolved from traditional handwritten blue books into modern e-passports embedded with biometric features. PICA CEO Garth Williams explained the practical significance without leaving room for interpretation. Every person holding one of these passports has their biometric information embedded in the document, he stated. And Jamaica registered its passport in the International Civil Aviation Authority Public Key Directory, which means every immigration authority in the world can verify that the passport is authentic and genuinely issued in Jamaica. That registration places Jamaica's travel document in the same digital verification league as passports from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and every European Union member state. And a detail that rarely surfaces in any coverage of Caribbean policy is that PICA became the first immigration agency in the entire Caribbean to introduce machine-readable passports. Jamaica pioneered the standard that others later followed. Underneath the passport, Jamaica built something even more ambitious. The National Identification System, known as NIDS, operates through the National Identification and Registration Authority and follows a deceptively simple architecture of one person, one identity, one unique lifelong number. Each card carries an internationally recognized NFC chip, remains valid for 10 years, and functions as a scannable digital credential. Piloting launched in December 2022, with phased public rollout beginning in November 2024, when approximately 300 individuals received the first cards. Prime Minister Andrew Holness collected his own card and delivered remarks that cut through every layer of bureaucratic framing. The NIDS provides the basis on which we can now claim to be a digital society, he declared, adding that when you present your NIDS card, no other form of identification is required because the card verifies your identity on the spot. Funding matched the ambition. A $1.3 billion allocation backed by the Jamaican government and the Inter-American Development Bank underwrites the program, with the European Union contributing an additional €9.5 million through the broader Digital Jamaica initiative. 24 enrollment centers are planned across the country, including a mobile unit for deep rural Jamaica, and general public enrollment opened in January 2026. Resistance arrived predictably. Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon acknowledged with unusual candor that Jamaica operates in a low-trust environment and that many citizens carry genuine fear about digital change. Religious objections surfaced alongside privacy debates and skepticism, rooted in decades of institutional distrust. The government pointed to the Data Protection Act, effective since December 2023, and to oversight bodies including the National Identification and Registration Inspectorate and the Information Commissioner's Office. Enrollment remains voluntary, but demand is projected to climb as services linked to the card. And this is where the diaspora dimension transforms everything. Jamaicans living abroad, particularly in Britain and the United States, can also obtain a national ID card. That means a British-Jamaican dual national in London, or an American Jamaican in Brooklyn now, exists within two competing digital identity ecosystems simultaneously. Britain's own ETA system, fully enforced since February 25, 2026, requires digital pre-authorization for visa-exempt travelers. Jamaica's digital C5 and biometric gates require advanced data submission from every arriving passenger. A dual national traveling between these systems navigates overlapping digital borders that each government controls independently. And the data collected on one side does not automatically flow to the other. The diaspora, the very population that bridges Jamaica and the West, now finds itself caught between digital architectures that were designed without their dual reality in mind. That friction is not theoretical. It is the lived experience of hundreds of thousands of people who hold ties to both worlds. When you stack the biometric e-passport, the mandatory digital C5, the CETA-powered facial recognition gates, and the NIDS card into a single view, the picture stops resembling a collection of upgrades. Jamaica assembled an end-to-end digital identity and border surveillance infrastructure that connects who a person is to how they move. And it accomplished this while the nations that built similar systems continued treating Jamaican citizens as though they belonged to a different category of traveler entirely. Jamaica now deploys the same biometric e-gates, the same facial recognition protocols, the same digital pre-travel authorization, and the same internationally registered passport verification that Britain and America operate at their own borders. Jamaica's passport sits in the same ICAO directory. Passenger processing targets 2 minutes. A unified multi-agency ecosystem connects every airport and seaport on the island. And despite all of that, Jamaican citizens still require a visa to enter the United Kingdom. Jamaican citizens still require a visa to enter the United States. British citizens land in Jamaica without a visa, submit a free digital form, and walk through biometric gates that Jamaica financed. American citizens enjoy the identical arrangement. No application, no fee, no interview, no embassy appointment. The history behind that imbalance cuts deeper than any policy document conveys. Visa requirements for Jamaicans traveling to Britain arrived in 2003. Before that year, Jamaicans visited freely. Today, the cheapest UK visa costs around $133 and a 2-year visa exceeds $500. Jamaica holds a distinction no other Commonwealth nation shares. It is the only country with the British monarch as head of state that requires visas to enter the UK. Monarch as head of state that requires visas to enter the UK. A majority of Caribbean islands access Britain visa-free, but Jamaica remains singled out. January 2025 added another layer when Britain rolled out its electronic travel authorization for visa-exempt travelers, pulling in Caribbean nations that already enjoyed free access. Confusion rippled through Jamaica until British High Commissioner Judith Slater issued a clarification confirming that Jamaicans would continue requiring a visa. February 2026 brought full enforcement of the ETA, and 24.8 million authorizations had been issued since the scheme launched in October 2023. The fee climbed from £16 to $20 effective April 2026. Jamaica's Foreign Minister, Orlando Terrelon, responded without diplomatic cushioning. Jamaicans should be allowed to travel freely to the UK, he stated, adding that easing restrictions would send a right signal of a united Commonwealth. When you think about how Europeans and Americans travel, the world over is pretty much open to them, he continued. Certainly, as a government, we would want that for our people as well. UK Parliament petitions amplified the same frustration. One gathered over 5,000 signatures, arguing that requirements for Jamaicans to pay a fee and apply for a visa, when they were the largest group to migrate to Britain as part of the Windrush generation, represent a continued failure and disregard. A newer petition pointed out that before 2003, Jamaicans visited freely, that British citizens still travel to Jamaica without restriction, and that the current rules are unfair and inconsistent. Windrush turns every border discussion between Jamaica and Britain into something visceral. In 1948, the Empire Windrush carried Caribbean passengers, many of them Jamaican, who had been invited to rebuild a country shattered by war. They constructed the infrastructure, staffed the hospitals, drove the buses, and their descendants wove themselves into the permanent fabric of British society. The country they helped reconstruct now charges their relatives hundreds of dollars for a short visit. While British citizens fly into the very island those families came from and pay absolutely nothing. Across the Atlantic, the pattern holds without interruption. Jamaica falls outside the U.S. visa waiver program, which means every Jamaican citizen requires a B1 or B2 visa involving a formal application, an in-person interview at the U.S. Embassy in Kingston, and accumulating fees. That visa can last up to 10 years, but the process functions as a barrier no American ever confronts when flying to Montego Bay. The United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom together account for approximately 94% of all stopover arrivals, with the U.S. alone responsible for 74%. American arrival surged over 16% in 2023, with New York contributing more than 350,000 visitors, and Florida sending more than 326,000. Jamaica generated $4.3 billion in tourism revenue in 2024, while welcoming a record 4.3 million visitors, the second highest total in the Caribbean, behind only the Dominican Republic. Tourism represents over 10% of GDP and 53% of all foreign exchange earnings. Jamaica's economic survival depends on welcoming the world through its doors. But when Jamaicans seek to walk through the doors of the countries whose citizens power that economy, the welcome vanishes. And that is what Jamaica's digital border pivot ultimately exposes. This is not simply a technology story about e-gates and digital forms. This is a high-stakes geopolitical shift that challenges every traditional assumption about how power, surveillance, and sovereignty operate in Caribbean international travel. Jamaica now collects biometric data on British citizens. Jamaica now holds advanced passenger intelligence on American tourists. Jamaica now processes Western travelers through facial recognition systems, governed by Jamaican law and managed by Jamaican security agencies. Surveillance relationship that flowed in one direction for centuries just developed a return current, and neither London nor Washington has publicly acknowledged what that means. Jamaican passport holders currently access 89 countries and territories visa-free or with visa on arrival, placing the passport at 54th on the Henley Passport Index. Britain and America occupy the top 10. The gap between what Jamaica built and how Jamaica's people are treated when they attempt to travel remains vast, visible, and with every biometric gate installed, harder to justify. Jamaica crossed from handwritten passport books to facial recognition e-gates inside a single generation. Paper forms scribbled in turbulence gave way to a mandatory digital system within months. A country with no national ID leapfrogged to a chip-embedded digital card backed by $1 billion investment and international partnerships. All of this unfolded while Jamaica welcomed over 4 million visitors annually, absorbed a Category 5 hurricane that caused an estimated $6 to $8 billion in damage, and maintained one of the most open border policies on Earth, for citizens of the very nations that restrict its own people. The entire world is migrating toward digital borders. Britain launched its ETA. The European Union activated its entry and exit system and continues preparing ETIAS. The United States operates ESTA. Jamaica now fields its own suite of digital border tools that rival anything the West constructed, and it deployed them while still being told that its own citizens require permission to travel. The difference, and it is the kind of difference that redefines an era, is that Jamaica did not wait for an invitation to the table. It built its own table, installed the same technology, and seated itself. That is the story, and it deserved to be told without compromise. If this reshaped how you see Jamaica's position in the global order, subscribe.
Wagwan. Yo, me I watch the Brazil match a while ago. See? Big up the whole of Brazil supporters them. I don't know any African team me I care. Big up 80 to all. Big up 80. Good representation, honestly. But that I come live, boy. If you don't notice from where I go on a break, me I cool off, me I watch the surroundings, me I watch what I go on the internet. You see me not to kill up myself. I just get a video while me I watch the World Cup. It's a video with Nikisha Burchell, that's what she name? The Jamaican politician. People make a tell you the truth, you know. I watch the video and it mash up my whole day, you know. I want to be very respectful because, you know, you want to be respectful of your politician, them, MP, them. No matter which side they say, you depend. You want to be respectful. I'm kind of confused. I'm kind of angry at the same time. I'm kind of pissed off with the Jamaican people. Because I don't know if me can hear the stupidity. Why a regular normal Jamaican or they are Jamaica can't hear it? Nikisha Burchell asks Horace Chung to explain the benefits and the responsibilities where we Jamaican are going to have in the role of these foreign nationals getting deported to Jamaica. She asked some very valid questions. She said, like, who are going to pay for them stay? Who are going to pay for them accommodation? Who for pocket it to come out? The expenses we are going to take for taking them people here. Who are going to respond to it? Is America going to be responsible for it? Or is it coming from out of the Jamaican budget? She asked some logical question. Now, people, me dead there, you know. And me I listen to Minister Chang response. The man says something, we black out everything else in me hear, you know. People, Minister Horace Chang says something, we black out every other thing where me hear him say. Juliet was being very disrespectful and I try to call down the woman as usual. See? The lady enchanting, you know them shadow ban me, them now give people notification when they live. Me hear Mr. Horace Chan in the same speech, you know, one speech, you know, explaining why these people are coming to Jamaica. One of them excuse is that they are not able to go back to the country where they come from. See, that is one of the main reasons why Jamaica was designated as one of the places for them to go, because them can't go back to them country for whatever reason. Then in the man explanation for how it a go when them reach, the man say they will be classified as visitors. Some man listen to me good enough and hear what the man saying. You know. The man say they will be classified as visitors. They will be visitors. Then he must say the option will be there for them to seek asylum. See? The sexy 182, please listen. See? Please listen. Please. The man said, them have the option to seek asylum. When them seek asylum, you know them can't left again. If them a visitor, why them a seek asylum? If they are only visiting, why them a seek asylum? I know that trigger me off yet. I know that trigger me off yet. Mr. Chang say out time mouth say, if otherwise they will be deported to their home country. That trigger me off now. That trigger me off because in the same speech, in the same breath, you contradict yourself. You just said the reason why them are come to Jamaica is because them can't go back to them home country. So why them? I don't want to cuss nobody out them. I don't want to sound arrogant and stupid. Why on earth are they in Jamaica in the first place then? If you say them can get sent home to them own country, then why the mama rascal them are come to Jamaica in the first place? The man said that in the same. That's why I'm waiting till the Brazil match done. That's why I'm waiting till the Brazil match done, you know. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I'm waiting till the Brazil match done. Everybody focus on football. Me hear the man say that in the same breath. So I am saying, why the problem with Horace Chan can't get fired? Why are these people leading us? Why the Governor General not step in and lock up them people? Can you not have nothing to tell the Jamaican people? The man's in the same breath, you know. And I like I want different DM say it, you know. And I like I want one different video the man say it, you know. The same exact speech the man said. The reason why they come to Jamaica, you know. Because they can't go back to them home country. Then in an explanation as to how it can operate when them there. The man say them are visitor, you know, visitor, you know. But them can seek asylum. If not, them can get deported back to them home country. Oh, them blood clot. So why America just never deport them to them home country in the first place? Then the signing was done in secrecy. Then the next thing, our own budget I can feed them. No, the man has said the prisoners will not start coming, or the deportees will not start coming until them prepare somewhere for them. So the people them from Hurricane Melissa no want nowhere to live. The homeless people them at Jamaica no want nowhere to live. But no, you have to go find place. Remember when I lick down people structure at Jamaica and I make more homeless span the homeless them there. Remember when I say people they can capture land, right? And when I lick down them house and I shoot them off. So if you can't house your own, where you going to house these people? Because I 2 planes in a month. So I 50 people a month. Where you put them? So I'm going to take billions of dollars now and make somewhere before them. And make somewhere for them. But the people them from Melissa, from Beryl, all of the places want to get their money there from all along. Still for homeless. So now, I want to see if people are going to come by yes or no and say, labor rights, 1 p.m. This not have nothing to do with no side now. No. The man them make decision will affect everybody. Mr. Chung, you have to tell me, say, America send them come to Jamaica. Zine? Because they can't go back to their own country. But you are tell we say if them violate them get deported to their own country. When I labor right them from this, explain to me how it go. Please me I beg you. Like me last now to bumbo clout. Cause remember me not come live from a day because me not using the night any people. Cause me say on the nonsense in that. When I'm go frightened for vanity and excitement, the people them last no bumbo clout. Yo. Virgin. Yo. The man, I see the man that shoot down some house at St. Thomas. I see the man that push down some house at St. Thomas. No, if you know, say labor right run St. Thomas. And labor right house, the man that push down to, you know. The people them also him a push down. You think him care where you vote for when him a push it down? Remember me give Andrew a break, you know. How long will you not hear me talking about Andrew Wallace? How long will you not hear me talking about politics? But that fucking video just trigger me off, bro. The video trigger me off. St. Thomas is a labor right state. Everybody know that. And over there them a push down house like crazy. Me here, the ambassador to Jamaica, say rapists, pedophiles, dirty criminal, in call them all kind of name. Why would our government even agree to that? So, when you vote in a prime minister, we can't say no. All him know if he say to America is yes, yes, yes. Lay down like a bitch and accept it, yes. More asking the next question. I see a next lady. I see a next lady now. I speak on behalf of the American people. And she is saying, in the best interest of America, via trade and business and thing, them have to put a foothold in a Jamaica and get rid of China. And it brings me back to something when I say, years span top of years. We have a leader that was elected 3 terms. Say him do the best job as according to who vote for him. Now me ask the question here for years now. If America is so invested in what Jamaica do with China or Russia or any other counterpart, how come America deal with Jamaica so? Oh, so much travel restriction put on Jamaica. Oh, so much trigger warning against Jamaica. Why Jamaica fear go through so much visa issues? If them so invested in a Jamaica, if them want we feel loyal to them and do no business with nobody else, oh the man we want to vote in for 3 terms. Can't look for America and say, America, we're willing for work with you. But we don't have to move the visa restrictions. So, yeah. Turn we in an American state like Puerto Rico or Virgin Island. Take the pressure of visa off of my people. And we will be 100% loyal to UNO and do business with UNO alone. What kind of leader this elect for 3 terms we don't speak and nothing behalf of the people them? Oh, them apply worse pressure and sanctions from Jamaica, but want control Jamaica? Me don't understand. And the person who UNO elect cannot even speak on behalf of Jamaicans. If you love Jamaica so much, America, and want to control Jamaica, so why are there 100 flights a month coming to Jamaica with deportees? Or 100 deportees every month I get deported which are Jamaicans? Why? And honestly say, the government is not working. They are not negotiating properly. If them no want we do no business with China, Japan, Russia, Cuba, nobody, you know. Everybody we are do business with, you know. America have a problem, you know. But yet still, America at the same time a shove a knife down in our neck. Where visa is concerned and travel restriction is concerned. So when Andrew go negotiate with these people, when I negotiate, say, would I love when I labor right them tell me. What is Andrew negotiating for? Because if me have this and you want it, remember, you know, Shorty bless. If me have this and you want it, what if you make me just give this? You have give me money? What? You buy it? You rent it? You lease it? What you want? You want the players? Alright, when you screw up the alternator, more the regulator out of the alternator. I thought me can't be, me just give the players, so. The American I tell you plain say, Zine, them have to go put on them foot in Jamaica because the Chinese them a take over. So them know how we do no business with the Chinese. So America, how I go on? Me no fit the Chinese them. We come give a big highway and give a 1 hour to Mobile or 1.5 hour, 45 minutes to Ochi, where we are asking you for from Boston to days, and only never do it, and then come do it. All American factory shut down in Jamaica. There's no factory, no free zone, and nothing again. We are doing business with the Chinese them and the Japanese them now. Now we have Japanese car, the motor car market there Jamaica, the motor import export we do with Japan. Most of the youth them now. A China them are going to go buy goods and sell back and rich without come America. Big up the girl named Chino selling furniture them. She said she go buy nearly 6 containers of furniture and by she come in 6 weeks it done. She have to go back before time. She not come America. So what you want to know? Agree with America, say enough business with China and Japan them and them people there. And then the people them gone back to suffering. When nobody can get rich. No, like people who make it make sense no man. Who make it make sense no man. You know how much people at Jamaica and make them way now and can buy nice vehicle and nice car and nice house by doing business with China and selling back Chinese goods in Jamaica. The whole around a limelight. The whole of them you always sell clothes and shoes, China. The girl them wear